Look at that dragon's blood, the blood red engine oil, the heart of every motorcycle.
Hello, Fuzzy Biker here. There's La Sombra, the 1100 Shadow, La Rosa, the 411cc Himalayan, covered in mud. It's the 27th of February, 2022. Beautiful day, about 50 degrees out, a little snow out there yet. You can see that in the drive. But all this next coming week is supposed to be in the 60s, at least the first 3 or 4 days. So I'm gonna try to get 1,000 miles on that hot rod, because that's what you do when you have a good motorcycle to ride, right? Between the two of them, I'll get 1,000 miles. So today I'm gonna take her down to the car wash, clean all this nonsense off of her, this bike anyway, and then bring her back in and do an oil change. She's got 5,500 miles on her. I think it's 5,500. And pull the tank off and adjust the valves. Well, I got back from the car wash. Bike's clean. Took the side cover off of there, so I'll pull that screen out and clean it here in a little bit, or look at it anyway. Hey, let's do that right now. It's spotless as far as that goes. I'll put it back in there. Pay attention to that in a minute. But just fits in that slot like that. Over here on the other side, I've got the oil filter out. Fell onto the drain pan, unfortunately, but here the motorcycle's going by. Anyway, that's where the oil filter goes. Cover right there. Got the new oil right here. New oil filter, Royal Enfield oil filter right here. A little addendum here. About oil. I'm using Motul 7100 full synthetic 1550 oil. The book calls for semi-synthetic. That's the minimum. So why am I using this more expensive oil? My theory is if I spend a couple of extra dollars every oil change, you know, in 10 or 20 oil changes, if I can get an extra 1,000 miles or 10,000 miles, even 1,000 miles, even 500 miles out of it, it's worth it. You know, if the bike lasts just a little bit longer, it's worth the extra cost. You know, everything else is the same. The filter costs the same. So, you know, you'd save $4 a quart, and the bike only takes 2 3/4 quarts. So you'd save, what would that be? $7 for oil change, and then 50,000 miles, that's 10 oil, that's $70. So for $70, if you can get an extra, you know, 500 or 1,000 miles, it's worth every penny, right? Okay, I put the drain plug back in. Got the oil filter installed back here. Did a little cleaning. Pulled this plate off so I can turn the engine. Got the timing mark lined up. I unbolted the tank. Now we'll pull the fuel line off right there. The electrical connection for the fuel pump, and then the fuel gauge. And then there's a couple hoses back in there we have to unhook. The overflow and the vent, and I think that might be it. So then I'll put the tank over yonder. I made sure the tank it's about as empty as it can get without being out of gas, so should be pretty light. Alrighty, take this cover off, it's over yonder. That's how you turn the engine, unless you want to use the back wheel. You take this bolt off here, and you can see in there, and there's the flywheel, and there's I don't know if it's a flywheel, but there's marks on there, and you look for those marks. When the marks are correct, and you're on the compression stroke, then the valve should be loose. Both front and back valves, unless your valves are, you know, way over. And let's see if I can get that. I can move that with my hand, and they're loose. That one is, and so is that one. So I'm on the right area, which means my valves are not too tight, but let's get a good look in there if I can. There's that. And then over here is that one. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's what it looks like. I'm going to show you the ports here, or the covers real quick. This is the intake one. If you look at it, INT, meaning intake, that's the carburetor side, or actually fuel injection side. That gives you my age. And this is the exhaust, EXT. See that right there? So that's the exhaust side. Alrighty, I got them set. You won't be able to tell anything by looking at them, but the tools I used, this right here, this bent dog leg, whatever you call it, 10-8mm combo, that's key tool you need. At least that's my experience. And then this thing here with the, I can't remember what size that little one is. Maybe it'll say in the package. It looks like a 3mm square. That's what you need to get the, move the center one. But we've got them set where they should be. Both the front and the rear exhaust and the exhaust and the intake. So I'm gonna go ahead and put her all back together now and put some oil in it. I got this right there, 1550 71 series full synthetic. And then I'll put the thing back together and start her up and we'll go for a ride. Wahoo! All right, I got everything back together. When you put the tank in, take a lot of time to make sure that you've got everything in the right spot. There's little things in there that have to go. Anyway, they only fit in one way. If you don't push them in the right way, you grab on cables and stuff. You got to be too far back and it won't work. Too far forward and it won't work. Guide them in there. I looked from the front as I pushed the tank forward, and I made sure I was in the right spot. And then I had to hook my overflow hose up, my evap system hose up, which was the hardest one. It wasn't that hard, but it was, you know. The fuel gauge connection is on this side, and there's a little connector down here somewhere. And then on this side, the fuel pump connector, which is on the power is on the back side, and then the fuel line's right here, and it's got these two things you push in on them and it just pops right off. Quick release. Hasn't leaked so far, so good deal. I've talked to RE mechanics. They say they've gotten Himalayans with dents right here, and that's for motors trying to put their tank on and pushing on it, and they'll get a dent here. So don't do that. If you have to do that, then you need to spend more time figuring out what to do up front. These can be kind of a pain in the rear to get in. This time they weren't so bad. Last time I really struggled with them, but there's the what you see up here in the front, and then there's kind of a pan-shaped washer underneath that goes on a grommet, you know, on each bolt, and got those in good. So, okay, I'm gonna put some oil in this thing. I might check the air filter, put it all back together, and then we'll take her out for a run. Something kind of cool about this oil is that it's blood red. You know, the blood of the engine, you might say. Isn't that nifty? Okay, that might be enough. It doesn't quite take 2 quarts. There's the window. Yeah, we're right up to the fill line on top, but I haven't ran the engine yet, so we'll let it sit for a minute. I'll run the engine. We're running a little low. We're going to add a little more to it. Added a little oil to it. Got her back up to the line. We're going to run it for a little bit. All right, I think we're done. We'll check the level here. Give it a second to catch up. Problems I ran into when I put my tin foil on this time, I didn't get it quite right. And you can see there's oil, that's old engine oil in there. And that'll blow out as I drive down the road. I don't know how else to get it out. It's just a very little amount, but it's there. I'm not worried about it. Other issues, not really any. The tools work pretty good. This was key. For this, I actually used this wrench instead, the 8mm end of this, or 10mm, whichever one it was. So, tools you really should have. That wrench, which is an 8 and a 10mm with a dog leg. This, which has the think it's a 3mm on one end. That's what you need right there. This socket to turn the crank, which looks like a 19mm, and this wrench to get the this plug off, and that's a 17mm. And then I had a 5mm Allen wrench to get this cover off. And of course, I think the other things that I used, I use this pretty much for everything else to get the oil off, oil filter and other things off. The connectors came off pretty well. Nothing seems to be beat up yet. The bike's got 5,500 miles on it. I got to write this down too. What do we got for mileage? 5565 is what we're going to call it. 5564.7, 5565. We'll put that in the book. I record all of that in here. That's not my maintenance page, but that way I have it. Don't count on your memory. Anyway, let's see. Do I need to add more oil? Nope. Look at that. Came right back up, right to where it was. Make it a flashlight so you can see that. Yeah, right where it's supposed to be. Dragon's blood, red. Huh? Cool. Get a good flashlight. This one, see, every third click it's low, high, and flashing, and that was kind of irritating. Get some good lighting, portable lighting. I've got some. It's just at the other shop. We've got the other shop, the Bike Cave. This is Fuzzy's garage here. The Bike Cave has, we've got an FXR tore up in there. We're rebuilding the whole thing. The engine's actually away at I think it's Kansas. Truett and Osborne, they're redoing the bottom end. We've got some other parts in Omaha, getting the valves, the head's done. And then the frame is in Carroll, Iowa. We had it sandblasted, and now it's getting powder coated. We hope to have all that back soon, and we'll just see what kind of progress we make on that bike too. But, well, you know what? I already checked the chain, it's good. The air filter I just changed, maybe a week ago, so I'm not gonna take the time for that today. I'll check the air pressure with my phone on the tires. Looked it over, didn't see anything that stands out. Checked the brakes earlier. What I could see, they're good. So you know what? It's probably 60-some degrees out there. Let's see what it is. 61 degrees and sunny. I, Fuzzy Biker, am gonna go biking. Catch y'all later. Wahoo! Hey, Fuzzy Biker here. Just got back. Did the valve adjustment today and the oil change. Put the new Dragon's Blood, the oil, red oil, Dragon's Blood. Get it? Anyway, in there, and thing ran like a dream. But just a little under 200 miles on it. Wow, what a great day for a run. Saw a bunch of bald eagles. 3 or 4 of them were out in the fields, and one of them was in somebody's front yard. I thought it was a lawn ornament. I think those things are just humongous. Those birds are humongous. Anyway, little Rosa back there just ran like a dream. There she is. Wow, what fun. What fun. Wahoo!